Hello, welcome to Emet Leadership Academy's Success Principles course. Thank you for signing up for this course. My name is Olatunji Shobodu, the CEO and founder Emet Leadership Academy. I would be leading this course, and it's my privilege and pleasure to do so. Specifically, the title of this course is The 7 Exclusive Success Principles to Bail You Out This Year. The 7 Exclusive Success Principles to Bail You Out this year. You may be having some challenges getting ahead, succeeding in your endeavors, having difficulty realizing your aspirations. This course is for you. Or perhaps you are even successful. I'm sure you know that there is still scope to do better. And you can do better with what we will be sharing through this course. This course is broken into 10 components, and we'll be going ahead with the first component right away. This course should take you a little less than 2 hours, but I want to counsel you that there's so much that we'll be talking about. Please have your pen and your paper with you so that you can take notes. Yes, you would have access to the recordings just as you have access now, but I believe much of the learning will require you taking your own notes. That's what we encourage. That's how you personalize the learning. And the process, you also begin to pencil down the action steps that you need to take to appropriate the insights that you would gain from the course. Now we'll be moving to the first segment of the course, the first module of the course, and it is titled The Principle-Centered World. The Principle-Centered World. Essentially, this component of the course lays down a basic understanding. The understanding is the place of principles in the way that the world runs. The world runs on principles. Every aspect of the system of the world runs on principles. Principles do not change. Principles are there. They rule how the world works. Principles make the world an exciting place because it gives us the opportunity to exercise influence and control. Once you know a principle, then it empowers you to be in control. It empowers you to get things done. What is a principle? A principle simply specifies that if you would take certain action or set of actions, possibly in a particular sequence, you would get a particular result. And the principle may define the context in which such actions should be taken. Now, as long as you take those actions in pursuit of the promise, which are the outcomes, and you obey, you are mindful of the environment or the conditions or the circumstance in which those actions should be taken in order to get the result you desire, then the result would happen. Principles have no respect for persons. They work for everyone. Whoever cares to comply with the requirements will always get the results. Let's take, for example, if I give you a seed, there is the principle of sowing and reaping. It's one of the most basic principles of life. In fact, it is a fundamental principle of life. What we know is that if you take the seed and put it in the ground, or you create the environment that is required to begin the process of turning the seed into fruit, and you follow the process, you provide the nutrients, you provide the water, you take care of the weeds, then you would get a harvest of fruits in line with the identity of the seed. That's a principle right there. If I do it and I follow through, I would get the results. If you do it and you follow through, you will get the results. Principles have no regard for personalities. That's the power of principles. That's the sense in which the world is quite fair, if you ask me, because the world runs on principles. So we can say the reason that I get results different from yours is traceable to my commitment to the principles that underlie our aspirations and our quest. So we need to pay attention to principles in our quest for success. Let me ask at this stage, what principles guide your activities? What principles are you following, obeying, complying with, putting into practice to ensure that you get the results that you desire? If you are not running by principles, you are running blind. And no wonder you're having challenges succeeding. No wonder it's one challenge after the other. If you would be careful to seek out principles that govern that your aspiration, that your quest, that your area of operation, like the farmer must seek to understand the principle of seed time and harvest, then you would discover that success may not be far-fetched. And if you have been successful, the more you abide by principles, the more you understand them and intensify your efforts, the greater the result you would get. That's the way that principles operate. So, to exert influence, control, authority over any system, any sphere of life, you need to understand principles and to operate by them. To get results in life, to be successful, you need to work on the basis of principles. That's why we're looking at 7 exclusive success principles, because we understand that whatever challenge you may be facing, principles are the root of it all. Principles will resolve them all, because to everything there is an underlying principle. Now, permit me to digress a bit. You may want to explore our principle-centered living program. It's a 12-week program that basically teaches us how to build or to develop a principle-centered life. To live by principles is to live a disciplined life. Because as we said, principles don't change. Principles operate the same, come rain, come sunshine. And if that's the case, that's an example of discipline. Principles spell discipline, demand discipline. If we must take advantage of principles, we must also be disciplined. The life of discipline is the life of obedience, is the life of compliance. And you know, obedience, compliance is a difficult thing. It's challenging. Unfortunately, that's why many people do not succeed. People want to do their own thing. They forget that the world in which they live operates by principles. If you want, therefore, to get the best out of the world, you must submit to that mode of operation. You must also live by principles. No wonder the Bible tells us that Jesus never taught without referring to parables, without using parables. What does that mean? Parables are simply stories that are used to illustrate principles. They're stories that are used to illustrate principles. Nothing more than that. Now, that means, therefore, that he understood the power of principles. He understood the power of principles. When we neglect or omit to obey principles, we expose ourselves to failure. That's it. So, this is the first module, our principle-centered world. Next module, we'll be discussing the 7 exclusive success principles. The 7 exclusive success principles. See you there. Thank you once again. God bless you.